relationship, like back when you were a girl or when you were a young person, and the relationship then with mining, and the relationship that there is now with people, or with your Métis people, or do you think it's a better relationship? Do you think that it's grown or not?
When I was young, I didn't know anything about mining. We never heard about mining. It wasn't until later years in life. And I'm going to speak on a Métis perspective, because I do not speak on behalf of the First Nation.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have that communications. There should be a better communications. We have very intelligent people who are educated now. And I think, they're not looking at that. And I think they have to come and they have to work with our people. And they're going to have a partnership where, and an understanding of fairness. I'm always skeptical when it comes to working with governments or any of these kind of people, because to me, we've been studied for hundreds of years, and I'm always still on that thought that this is what has happened. I mean, years and years our people were on this land, and we never endured these kind of illnesses that are affecting us now. And now I find that there are so many different things that affect our people, and yet they are saying, not too long ago, I listened to the news, and they're saying that the Aboriginal people are the highest rates. Why are we the highest rates? There's a reason for that. We never were high rates on illnesses, because our people knew how to look after us and they knew what to give us. But because our people have no choice but to work in these positions, whether it's mining, and it used to be the Prince Albert, where they had the for cutting wood and all the mill. That in itself, again, it was another thing that caused a lot of issues, and health issues, your lungs, your all this stuff, and yet it doesn't. And if you look at the highest rate of who was working in there, were Indigenous people, because they had to make a living. Mm-hmm. And there are quite a few. So, to me, I think we have to, they should come and they're scientists, they have research, they have that ability, they have the knowledge of all the equipment, to partnerships with Indigenous people, and make sure that they too have that understanding. And maybe our people can relay our way of how we work with our medicines, and we can combine that medicines, or we can maybe find out why, like you were saying, even this smoke. I have some lung problems, and I was very highly affected, and you're right, like it was a very, not like a burning wood, because we burn wood fires all our lives, and we cooked outside in open fires, and we never even found this kind of smell that it talks into me. I had to put wet towels under my door and cover my witch coat, because my apartment was so full, and I had to take extra puffs to keep my lungs down. So, you think about not only us as Indigenous people, it affects a lot of the elderly people, and it affects their children, and it affects everybody for this. Mm-hmm. And I think if they want to learn and work together and build that relationship, they governments always go to the foreign countries like China and all these places, India and India, and find all these kinds of things to work with. Why aren't they working with the people of the country, or the first people of the country, to work with them and learn with them and educate one another? I mean, I'm not saying I'm not blaming all the blame. I mean, we need to do that education. We have to work together and understand the educating one another. And I think that's should come. We have now our people, like I say, we now have our people that are into these positions and very well educated in the university. And there is a rate of them, and people don't really realize that. You know, when you talk about that, some people say, well, you never really heard about it. That's because nobody talks about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it really frustrates me because our people are struggling to get there, and they're smart. And I've been to the university, and I've done workshops at the university, and it just amazed me with some of these people, but yet they're not given that opportunity.
Yeah.
But I think whether it's finances for them, that's the way I think about it, and they don't really worry about who's being affected. Not only the adults, what about our children, our tomorrows, our futures? And I honestly believe that can work. I also feel that we have worked together and get that education from one another. And I know that some people have met with some of our people and went out, and our Indigenous people showed them our medicines and talked to them about how they're using it. But that's just a visit. There's nothing saying, because we talk about it, doesn't say that it's working for the opposite.